I played a lot of video games since my unfortunate birth, and therefore I have beaten a lot of bosses. A lot of things contribute in creating a great boss fight, like the music, the location, the story behind the boss, and the design of the actual demonic entity that is about to crush you. And so, I have decided to share my unwanted opinion of my favorite boss battles of all time.
I thought it was clever, Sonic.
Fuck you, Tails.
DMC3 is the best Devil May Cry game, and it has the best Virgil Dante fights. Yeah, I have unpopular opinions. I'm different. You know what is the most accurate way I can describe this boss fight? It's anime. This battle is so anime. The cinematics, for example, like in any Devil May Cry game, are trying to be too dope, and it worked. Like, look here, they really didn't have to stop each other's swords with their bare hands, but they did. Why? Because it looks cool. The dialogue is the cheesiest, most beautiful thing to have ever been written by human hands.
My soul is saying it wants to stop you!
Yeah, that. I love that. But aside from the cool presentation, Devil May Cry has its way of making the game more fun as you go on gameplay wise. So imagine yourself in the endpoint of this satanic clusterfuck. Everything has led to this moment. You unlocked a lot of moves, you upgraded your weapons, you figured out your favorite playstyle, and now you're about to kick your edgy twin brother's ass. Slashing, kicking and dodging while listening to this, trying to stop your brother from acquiring infinite power. And in the meantime, the gates of hell are opening. Like, even if you don't like DMC, let's be honest, this is just damn. It's fast, it's fun, it's emotional, and more importantly, it's
badass. Is this how you face me?
Fuck you, Kratos!
Some of you may think of this as an exaggeration, but I'm serious. This boss fight is one of my favorites of all time. It's just awesome, and it's stuck in my rotten teenage head. The first Kratos vs. Thor fight served as an introduction to this new chapter in our beloved angry dad who wants to become a less angry dad story. And what an introduction it was. Of course, the God of War series is not lacking in the fights between mythical gods category at all. But what makes this one so special is mostly the shock factor, from a back and forth between Kratos on one side and Thor and Odin on the other, to a mystical hammer breaking your jaw, throwing you across half of ancient Scandinavia. The sudden and brutal turn of events made the fight so damn exciting, and the OST only added more on the epicness of this whole situation, having bits and pieces from the first game main theme, making you think, damn, I haven't felt this good in a long time. The general direction of the fight is savage, brutal and glorious. Imagine yourself dodging, parrying, attacking and exchanging fists with the god of fucking thunder. Even though the fight is not particularly difficult, that doesn't make it any less amazing. Do I love the Soul games? Yes. Do I enjoy wandering these dangerous, gruesome, dark worlds where making the smallest mistake can lead to your imminent and inevitable doom? Also yes. Ornstein and Smough fight is my favorite in Dark Souls 1 for mostly one reason. It's so ridiculously difficult. Of course, many of you gamers will probably say, oh you ignorant fool, a hard boss fight doesn't make it a good boss fight. But it does, at least here. Smough is the Royal Executioner, and Ornstein is a Dragon Slayer, and these cool titles did not come in vain. Believe me, there is no boss fight that have ever made me feel this desperate. You know that the fight is so difficult when you consider quitting a game you paid money for because of how impossible the fight is. Assuming I paid money for it, of course. But here it gets more interesting. I tried many times, tried to deduce patterns and strategies on how I can defeat these two, until I reached a point of complete mastery. Ornstein and Smough literally made me better at the game. I became more skilled as a player to defeat them. There is no secret overpowered weapon, no insane grinding. I literally became better at the game by trying again and again until reaching this screen. This is holy. What I felt here wasn't just happiness or satisfaction, it was fulfillment. I felt real, like I made effort, and that had actual results. Wow, this way I can even become better at math. No, that's stretching it. I never played a game like Undertale. The way the game knows everything you did, every decision, every load, every save. It's simple, yet it's smart. And Sans is probably my favorite character in the game. He's goofy and fun to talk to, yet he's mysterious, and throughout the game's neutral and pacifist realm, you can feel an air of danger around him. Like maybe he's the most powerful being in the game? Nah, that's unlikely. Okay, I was wrong. The reason why I love this fight so much is because of what it represents. Of course, a game punishing a player for something he did or a decision he made is nothing new, but being able to associate the punishment with the idea and the mechanics of the game, that's just beautiful. The genocide run represents the possibility of what if our dear player gave in to his curiosity, but if he asked the question, I wonder what might happen if I decided to murder and kill everything in my way like a maniac. Well, this will happen. Sans is here to punish you for your curiosity. You violated his world and his people because of a question, and Sans will gladly violate you back by giving you an unbelievably unfair fight. You can even see him as a cheater, attacking you even while you're in the combat menu. And the OST. Oh god, the OST. Sans fight music may have lost its taste because of the many ways it was used on social media, but no one can deny that this is good music. Even when you beat Sans, the game doesn't really consider what happened to win. Undertale simply doesn't want to be played that way, and this fight and its aftermath made this fact very clear. Come on, you really thought I wouldn't include a Persona boss in this list? Okay, some context here if you forgot who Nyx is or never played Persona 3 for some unworldly reason. Nyx is death. Yeah, the final boss in Persona 3 is literally death. Nyx is claiming that humanity longs for death. I'm not gonna pretend that's completely false, but as the player, after making all these beautiful bonds with all these characters, after experiencing some happy moments and some unfortunate events, yeah, that you and your friends decide that you want to continue living, even if we can never be sure of what the future has in store for us, even if life is mostly a continuous line of pain and frustration. The small, happy and beautiful moments in between, the bonds we make along the way, are worth living for. Why did I put Nyx in this list? I just said why. It is literally the most perfect conclusion for a game, and if you want another reason, just listen to the OST in the background. Yeah, that's dope. It's a turn-based game, so there is no insane creative idea in the fight itself. Nyx changes arcanas, resistances, and weaknesses, and you have to adapt. Simple as that.
You were at my side all along.
This right here is my favorite thing.
Lwig is my favorite boss in Bloodborne. As you step through the shadowy boss wall, what you see is a beast. There is nothing else that can describe this mutilated demonic freak. His movements are all over the place, his patterns are unorganized, slashing, kicking and jumping. Lwig in the first phase is a wild animal, which made predicting his movements and attacks really difficult. But the magic happens in the second phase. When you manage to defeat him in his savage state, this happens.
You were at my side all along. My true mentor, my guiding moonlight.
Cinema. It turns out this horrid being that you've been fighting used to be actually human. He was a sword master, a noble knight that was cursed to look and become this grotesque, horrible creature. His movements are not these unholy, ugly attacks anymore. He's now more calm. He uses nothing but his sword. His body moves more gently, like the professional sword master he once was. The second phase, in my opinion, is easier than the first, but the story behind Lwig can make you feel a little sympathy towards the guy. What happened to him is just fucked up, but seeing him pick up his sword and decide to fight you as a human is just one of the most beautiful things I have witnessed in a game. And the OST, well, I really do not think I need to explain.
Yeah, sometimes the truth can be a real bitch. You have your own motives, your own desires. And we have ours. I fear it really is just that simple.
I think I'm gonna cry. There is a village in Near Replicant that served often as the player's home and base. It's always safe and it always felt like a place to chill and stuff after journeying through the dangerous shade-filled lands. And every time you go back, these twin sisters, Devila and Popola, were always there. They talk to the player gently, they worry about him, and acting as his mother figure for most of the game. And while goofing off around the village, you can always hear the song in the background. The Song of Ancients, performed by Devila. But then you reach the final arc of the game, and you discover that you're not human, and neither Devila and Popola. The humans are the shades that you've been killing all this time, and the only purpose for your body is so that the real human can take it and live inside it like a normal person again. But I just want my anime moms.
Yeah, sometimes the truth can be a real bitch.
Yeah. True. For me, what really made this boss fight deserve this place in the lists is no other than the OST. The first phase, when you are fighting both Devila and Popola, Song of Ancients is playing, but a more action-oriented version sang by both sisters in beautiful harmony. But then you manage to kill one of the twins, which leaves the other one broken, and the music changes to Song of Ancients again, but a calmer version with Popola's voice. It's like she's mourning her deceased sister. She's angry, but she's heartbroken, but the player has no choice but to cut her down as well. You might not like Near Replicant as much as I do, because you have to complete the game 5 times to get the true ending, but let's be honest, this is
badass. What? Still here? Hand it over, that thing, your dark soul. For my lady's painting.
This boss is not the final boss of Dark Souls 3, yet he feels like the final boss of my life. You literally win the Dark Soul when you kill him. It's the name of the fucking game. Gale is the final boss of the Ringed City DLC. He was once a slave knight, and you may ask the question, what is a slave knight? Well, he's a knight, but also a slave. After deserting from service, he goes to the painted world of Ariandel. He meets the painter, a girl that wants to draw another world. But guess what? She needs the Dark Soul to do so. So Gale sets on a journey to claim this item that doesn't sound dangerous at all. He gets to where the Dark Soul is and gets consumed by it. Now you have to fight him and get the Dark Soul. I know that your reaction now is probably, this is bullshit. Don't blame the lore, blame my poor explanation. What can I say? Epic doesn't even begin to cut it. This fight is full of, what's the right word? Grandeur. Yeah, I speak French. You're fighting this corrupt knight on the edge of the world. His movements are fast, unpredictable, and powerful, and they get more and more difficult to deal with as you go on, and at the same time, the more you progress in the fight, you notice not just Gale himself changing postures and fighting positions. The weather changes. Thunder begins to strike you in his favor. The sky turns black and all you're feeling is, this is the happiest moment of my life. Cause let's be honest, every boy's dream is to participate in a glorious duel like this. I don't know about the girls because last time I have spoken to one was in elementary school. I know this might sound strange, but what I loved most about this fight is how it made me feel like a little kid again. Just so enjoyable, and the OST matched the feeling of this epic duel perfectly. The Holo Knight, a knight who's hollow. The Holo Knight is your brother who was tasked with the mission to contain the godly entity called Radiance, who due to his god complex punished the people of Holonist for not worshipping him by spreading a disease that would make them go insane. And now the seal is weakening and the Radiance is taken over and the disease is spreading again. And now you're tasked to fight your brother, enter his dreams, and kill the Radiance inside of him. Again, don't blame the lore, blame my explanation. The Holo Knight fight is special. Why? Well, imagine this. You're fighting this boss, business as usual, trying to dodge his attacks and trying to time yours. The OST is exciting, everything is mostly normal, until this happens. Suddenly, he starts to stab himself. He's trying to help you. He doesn't want to be this way. He doesn't want to be this savage, absent-minded beast. He wants to kill what's inside him. And so, after you manage to bring him down, you enter his mind only to find the real enemy, Radiance, who's technically God, so yeah, fighting him was a bit challenging. But even so, it was fun. It was really fun actually. It's like this beautiful culmination of all your progress throughout the game. The OST has this, dude, you're fighting God, this is dangerous vibes. But nothing really matches the conclusion of this fight. You're almost there, you were able to overwhelm him with your attacks. But something is missing. This time, you need help. And who's gonna help you? It's your big bro. Seeing the two brothers break out of their shells together and cooperate in the end to defeat this arrogant tyrant was just fantastical.
This is Snake. Do you read me, Otacon?
Loud and clear, Snake.
Kept you waiting, huh?
Metal Gear often offered a lot of great boss fights, especially in terms of gameplay. This one is not the most creative things to have ever been witnessed by my sad soul in terms of gameplay. But if you noticed, I do not favor gameplay over story in a boss fight. I know a lot of you will disagree. I know I'm a freak. The more significant the battle is to the plot and the more it is well presented, the more I will like it. As simple as that. So, is Snake versus the boss fight that significant to the story? Is it well presented? Yeah, it is. This is the biggest turning point of the whole story of Metal Gear. This is the moment that Snake became Big Boss. And aside from that, it's a master-pupil fight. And we all love that, let's be honest. Snake was ordered to kill his master, more than that, his mother figure. And she knows that one of them must die. So in the end, two stealth and CQC masters reunite in this epic duel while the main theme of the fucking game is in the background. If you don't call this fight well presented and critical to the plot at the same time, then what the hell are you going to call it? I really don't have to say a lot about this. It's just awesome.